So today we're going to practice some clay techniques that will help us build our pottery project next time. So to start with, I have my clay, I have my scratching tool, I can use that to cut as well. I have my slip and I have my sponge in here to help keep it from getting spilled, and I have my rolling pin. And so I just have these few things right here that I'm going to start with. Now, even though I'm practicing, I can still wedge my clay, and this would help me get any air bubbles out if this was fresh clay or reused clay. And then it also helps kind of just get it all blended together. And then I'm going to kind of squish it to make it easier to actually tear in half, because I want two pieces that are about the same size. So now I'm going to put this here and set my other clay to the side, and I'm going to just wedge it a little bit more, and then I'm going to start rolling a ball, and my hands are going, see how that's going in a circle around and around, and you can do this in your hands or on your table, and it doesn't have to be a perfect sphere. We're just kind of trying to get it kind of round. Then I can take my thumb and I can push it into the clay to start making a little bit of a hole in here, and then I'm going to start pinch. And the more I pinch, the deeper my bowl will get, the more I can pull it up. I can make my bowl wider, or I can make it taller, and it's all about how I push and pull with my fingers. And if I want the bottom flat, I can even tap, 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 and then I can have a flat bottom. I'm kind of pulling mine out because you'll remember we saw a lot of pottery that got wider as it got up. So I'm going to pull mine wider so that if I wanted to build onto this, I would have a good base right here. So there's my pinch pot. The next technique, and we have done this before as well, except for last time I gave you your slabs. So we're going to make slabs, and we actually don't need that big of a one today, so we're going to again split my clay in half and wedge, and roll. And I like to kind of play pat a cake or clap my hands, and that's going to flatten my clay out some so that it's easier to roll. I'm going to take my rolling pin and move my things out of my way. And then when I roll with my rolling pin, I can roll in different directions. If it's really hard to roll and I need extra strength, I can stand up while I roll. I'm going to flip it because I don't want it to get stuck to my newspaper. So by flipping it, it helps it from getting stuck to my newspaper. But I want it flat, but I don't want it too skinny, okay? Because I'm actually going to make this today, this would be like another way to make the base for the pot I build if I want to put my coils on top of this. So then I can cut this into a shape. I'm going to make mine kind of like an oval. So I'm just going to cut around. And now I have my slab. So I'm going to put my slab aside. I'm going to get that extra clay I had left over, and I'm going to take these little scraps, and I am just going to squish, wedge, squish. And remember, if I have any cracks, I can get a little moisture and kind of get my clay a little softer, because cracks only get worse. Now once I have that done, I'm going to make my sphere, and then I'm going to start rolling my coil. And remember, a coil is like a rope or a worm. So I'm going to roll back and forth this time. Remember when I was drawing a sphere, my hand went around. Now it's just going back and forth. And it's going to start to look like a really fat rope or worm. So now I have this started. Then I can actually move here, and I can roll here. And now sometimes it gets a little flat like this. Maybe I didn't do it right. But I can fix it. I can either smush so that it looks a little less flat, or I can actually take and twist. And I'm just going to keep rolling. And eventually it will get so big that I have to use two hands. And as I do that, it's going to get bigger. And I'm just going to keep rolling until it's the right size. Okay? Now once I have it all rolled out and as fat or skinny as I want it, I'm going to again look for my cracks, because they only get worse. And now I can either attach this to a slab base or to a pinch pot base, okay? And remember, when we attach stuff, whether I'm going to attach it here or here, I have to do my little scratch marks. We call that scoring, and we're just making like little X's. And remember from last time, we're going to put our slip around it. So I'm just taking my fingers like this. I'm just going dab, 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 and put that in there. I'm going to put some scratch marks on my coil, and then I'm going to attach them. When I get here, if I'm going to be finished like this, I can just trim it and blend it where they meet. Then I have to make a creativity decision. So I'm going to think about it. Do I want to blend my coils as I build so my pot looks smooth? So that's one of the things you'll have to decide. You might decide instead to build your coils on top of a pinch pot base. That'll give you more of a start, but if you're not very good at pinch pots or you want a nice even shape all the way up, you might want to start with a base. So that's something to think about. Thinking about it, that I want mine tall and I want it to kind of do this little bubble thing like the ones we saw, and this is going to be a better start for me. So now it's your turn to practice, and when you are done practicing, you can start designing your pottery.